Welcome everyone to this week's Mindful Drop. Please feel free to ask questions. You can unmute and ask questions, or you can put questions in the chat and I'll definitely get to them. So this week's oils are some of my favorite and most used. Being a physio, I'm a physio by profession. I fell in love with Deep Blue when I first smelt it because it smells of that wintergreen and camphor sort of smell, which is very typical of a physio room. But what I really fell in love with was that as a physio, I'd never seen bruising resolve or sprained ankles recover as quickly as when I used the Deep Blue. So this was for me when I realized that there's something really in these essential oils that I can see the tissue healing, and I know how long things take to recover and to heal, and I can really see how quickly and effective Deep Blue is, because we have an ambivalence with anti-inflammatories. As physios, we used to recommend people to take anti-inflammatories almost immediately when they hurt themselves or sprain their ankles. Now we realize that we need that inflammation. That's the body's healing mechanism. It floods the area with all these inflammatory agents so that it starts to heal. But we don't want the chronic inflammation, the long ongoing inflammation when the body gets stuck in an inflammatory cycle. So we don't want to suppress the body's healing mechanism. We just want to support the body's healing. And that's the difference between the oils and perhaps a pharmaceutical or anti-inflammatory or non-steroidal. So for me, the key is that you have to use these oils as frequently as possible. Sorry, that's Shadow, and I've got some builders here. We use it every 1 to 2 hours in the beginning. And you can use it neat, particularly on areas like an ankle sprain or on a joint. Shadow, shush. On a small joint, on an ankle, on like a broken nose or contusion or a bruise. Those are the sort of things we use it on neat, on or around. But then we can also make a roller for more frequent application. So we can put, for a child, I'd put about 15 drops into a roller. For an adult, up to 40 drops into a roller. And I'll often mix it with other things, but that's what we use for frequent use. So it combines very well with Copaiba or Copaiba, which is our equivalent of our CBD oil, our cannabis oil, but it doesn't have any of the hallucinogenic effects. It's very good at bringing the body back to homeostasis. So if you've got a particularly painful area, layering with Copaiba and Deep Blue works very well. So putting on one oil and then applying the other one, or using both in a roller. So it works, very well with Copaiba. Also works very well with lemongrass. So we say lemongrass for ligaments. It's a nice way of remembering it. So a roller that I frequently make for any sprained ankles or any sprained joints is Deep Blue, Copaiba, and lemongrass. So I'll do about 15 to 20 drops of Deep Blue, about 10 drops of Copaiba, and 10 to 15 drops of lemongrass. The lemongrass is strong, so for a child I use less lemongrass. For an adult I might use more. So that's a really nice one for any sprained areas. And then it also combines very well with turmeric. So topically as well, we often think of just taking turmeric internally, but it works very well putting turmeric oil onto a sore joint, and it's a very warming kind of feeling. So arthritic joints, bunions, all that sort of thing, putting turmeric and putting on Deep Blue works very well. I know I was chatting to Sandra online just before we started, and her son Hugo is going for his braces today. So we make a small braces roller, which I can post later. And so it was just a 5 ml roller that I made. And I did about 10 drops of Deep Blue, 5 drops lavender, 5 drops of On Guard or clove, because that's numbing. So it helps with the pain after the braces have been put on. And then you could use Copaiba or frankincense, 5 to 10 drops. And that's a really nice one for helping to soothe. And then you'd use it around, you don't put it in the mouth, you use it around the mouth on the gums, but again, using it frequently, especially the first day, and then afterwards you won't need it as much. So that's what I always say with oils, to microdose, use it frequently, small amounts frequently in the first few days, and then one won't need it for as long. So please shout if there are any questions there. So the Deep Blue oil, when I look at my books, the Essential Life book, the top uses are muscle, back, and joint pain, arthritis and aches, neuropathy and carpal tunnel. So that you'd put actually over the inflamed areas, fibromyalgia and lupus, all applying topically to the area of concern, because we don't take Deep Blue internally. Whiplash and muscle tension apply to the area of discomfort, pre and post workout, growing pains. It's a lovely one to use on growing pains, and we make a little roller as well, which has got Deep Blue and lavender. Sometimes I add a little bit of peppermint too. Headache and neck pain, and bruises and injuries. So actually the ingredients of Deep Blue are wintergreen, camphor, peppermint, lang lang, helichrysum, blue tansy, blue chamomile, and osmanthus. So they're all very calming and soothing. And it's called, the generic name is the Soothing Blend. And so in my Advanced Oil Magic book, it says for muscle pain and inflammation, massage 2 to 4 drops with a carrier oil or lotion onto an affected area. Joint pain, apply 1 to 2 drops to affected areas. Lupus and fibromyalgia, 1 to 2 drops with carrier oil. Whiplash, bruises, headache, apply 1 to 2 drops to the temples and the back of the neck. And bone pain, directly over the bone pain. So just to also, on that note, to say if there's a fracture and people are wearing a cast or a brace, I often encourage them to use it above and below, because our body absorbs it and it goes into the bloodstream very quickly. So even if you can't use it directly on the area, it's still worth putting it above and below the area. So, and there's a lovely recipe in here for a super cool muscle rub, which is 15 drops copaiba, 15 drops frankincense, and 15 drops of copaiba. But that takes me on to the next thing, which is our Deep Blue rub, which they've basically done that for you. So it's a wonderful soothing rub. I think each family member has one in their sports kit, in their sports bag. It's a wonderful gift, because you use just a tiny bit. I actually don't even think I've ever got to the end of a Deep Blue rub. I seem to lose it or give it away before that. You literally just use a pea size, and it's quite strong. It's got a very cooling and sort of tingly feeling. So when I apply it, I also apply it a lot to the front of my neck here, although we often don't feel tension in the front of our neck, but this is our sternocleidomastoid muscles, which hold a lot of our tension and tightness. And often when our neck's sore, we concentrate on putting on our shoulders, but if you massage into here and release into here, it can really make a difference as well. So the Deep Blue rub is for larger areas. It's very good for any spasm, tightness, inflammation, soft tissue. I love to use it sort of before a bath. I'll put it on my neck and shoulders before a bath, and then get into a bath. And it actually, because oil and water don't mix, it almost drives the Deep Blue into it. Or to put it on feet and then put them into like an Epsom salt soak, or if you've had a heavy day massaging one's feet with the Deep Blue rub is lovely, and then even get into the bath. But you can also choose to put it on after a bath or shower, when your pores are nice and open and your skin's sort of warm and relaxed, and it absorbs very nicely as well. So yeah, it's very good for the larger areas like hamstrings, lower back, neck. It's the girls use it at boarding for period pain. It helps significantly for period pain. And we always have one on the side of the hockey field. The girls are always saying, can I use, because I do the physio for them, can I use your Deep Blue rub? Can I use your Deep Blue stick? And we use this a huge amount. And so it's very good for muscle stiffness, very good post-exercise, after a workout. I couldn't imagine doing some sort of sort of adventure race or anything like that without the Deep Blue rub. I think it's amazing. So please, yeah, ask any questions. And then the Deep Blue stick comes pre-mixed with Copaiba. So it actually has got topical analgesic effects, which because there's a certain amount of research, they can make claims like that, and it is a topical analgesic. It comes in this little, almost like a suntan lotion stick like this. And it comes, so that's the Deep Blue stick, but it comes with this little cap, which I thought was a little bit annoying when I first got it. I sort of would take it off and then sort of throw it away. But actually, I've realized that one can use this, so it's easier to apply and you don't get in your eyes, because the Deep Blue rub sometimes can get on your fingers, and then if you touch your eyes or rub your eyes, it can be a bit burny. So here you can apply this to your neck and shoulders and then sort of retract it, and then put this little cap on, and you use this as a little massage, like as a massage rub, and it actually works really nicely. So it's very good for any inflammation. I think it's better, this is better for much bigger areas. It doesn't have the Copaiba. This is more for smaller areas, sort of more for injury and things like that. But I mean, I use them and I keep one in my bag. This is easier to carry around, and I keep in my bag a lot. And it's slightly less messy in terms of that. So, but it's very good for bruising and spasm or anything like that. So the emotional thing of Deep Blue is surrendering pain. So Deep Blue is generally used for physical pain, but can also assist individuals who are resisting or avoiding the emotions that underlie their physical pain. It offers strength to face emotional wounds, allowing the wounds to surface for transformation and healing. So yeah, at its core, Deep Blue teaches individuals acceptance and tolerance of their pain. It reveals the possibility that pain is not cruel or bad, but is simply a teacher. And instead of resisting pain, one might embrace the lessons it has to offer. So those are just some of the emotional. It goes on a bit. And the positive properties associated with it are strengthened, accepting, soothed, serene, healing, and healed. So any questions there for Deep Blue? All, I think, make amazing gifts. I've gifted them to teachers, or I've gifted them to, yeah, some of the sports coaches, to friends, parents. Those sort of, yeah, they're lovely gifts. And then the gift of the month I thought I'd just talk about now is Thinker. And it's the Focus Blend. It comes in the kids kit. So the kids kit comes in this lovely little bag, and it has these little, it comes with these little covers that you can put on it. But you can also get Thinker separately and have it as an individual oil. So it's got a little picture of a brain on it. And the Thinker oils, so let me get this back up. Thinker is far less intense than the Intune. Intune is a very strong blend for focus that we usually use for our adults. Thinker has got vetiver, peppermint, clementine, which is obviously a citrus oil, and rosemary. So those are all brilliant oils for memory and for focus. Rosemary for remembrance. I just thought it was so beautiful. I remember watching the Queen's funeral, and there was big things of rosemary in the bouquets. And then clementine, which is a citrus oil, which is also very uplifting and very good for focus, especially combined with peppermint, which is cooling and clearing, and then vetiver. Vetiver, I was mentioning to someone yesterday, is a grass oil, and it comes, so vetiver is a grass, and it's got these thick, knobbly roots. And when I use vetiver, I have this feeling of lying on the grass, just like being able to exhale, looking up at the clouds, like just that letting go, that grounding. I love vetiver. It's a very, very grounding oil, and this is a very nice way of using it because it's very thick. And if you've got vetiver, it comes, I always take off the lid and just put a drop on it because it doesn't evaporate, and it's a very, very thick oil, so it's very runny and thick, and you can't really pour it very easily. So the Kids Focus Blend, top uses is a homework booster. You apply it to the back of the neck at the beginning of homework time to boost concentration. It's good for ADD and ADHD. Apply to the back of the neck 3 times daily or as needed. Creative writing, apply to temples to incite new ideas during writing projects. Household chores, apply to the navel, so the belly button and wrist to stay focused during chore time so the playtime can come sooner. Test taking, apply to temples while studying for a test and again while taking the test. And for confusion and distractions, apply to the temples and inhale from cupped hands to promote mental clarity. So I just feel that for a lot of children as well, it's helpful to have a tool that they can rely on when they're feeling dysregulated, when they're going into a test, that they know they've got something that they can use and rely on that's going to help them. So emotionally, this blend is the oil for peaceful thoughts. It helps turn agitation and frustration into centered thinking that is both realistic and useful. So that's, I think that covers everything. And from the Essential Life book, the Children's Thinker Blend talks about top uses: ADHD, ADD, hyperactivity. So use it under the nose or forehead, along the spine, back of neck, and or bottoms of the feet. Over and underactive brain, using it under the nose, also along the spine, back of neck, bottoms of feet. And then for lack of mental clarity, focus and concentration, overwhelmed and overthinking, stressed out and ungrounded, it's very grounding. The vetiver is very grounding. Nervous, anxious, and moody, afternoon slump and disconnected, and also has been used for seizures, supporting people who've had seizures. So that is the Thinker Blend. It's a lovely one, and it's not just for kids. I think it's actually lovely for adults too. I use it quite often when I'm at my desk, when I'm having to focus and concentrate and come up with some new ideas or content or something like that. So thank you, those who have joined live, and then those who are listening to the recording. Please feel free to ask any questions. Does anyone want to unmute and ask a question? Sandra?
No, I'm good. So thank
Okay.
you. So
Good.
the Deep Blue I also love, and the Thinker. Yeah, we'll see what my stepsister says if I give it to her.
Yeah.
Just need to wrap it for her because she doesn't like to talk about it a bit.
Okay,
so
yeah. Well,
if the kids don't inform, the parents are often
it's quite subtly labeled, but one could take off the label. You can use citrus oils to take off the labels.
Yeah, I create a story. My mom will help me, and then we sneak it in, and it hopefully helps.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it can only be supportive. So, and I think these things are always worth a try.
Exactly.
Thank you. And it's lovely to be able to gift and to support someone far away as well. Sandra's got a lot of family in Germany, and so she sometimes gifts them and orders oils off her account, which is a lovely thing to be able to do.
Yeah.
And
I will also have 2 pebble diffusers in my package.
Oh, yes.
But because they're not available in Germany, and they are so nice and small. I like
the
pebble
diffusers, the one Pippa's got at school, and it's lovely.
Yeah, Oscar as well, yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you all. We've got some workmen on our roof, so it's about to get noisy, but lovely to see you. And next week is a holiday, so we won't be doing Mindful Drop, but I think I'm going to do it on the 8th of the 8th, which is the Tuesday. So I will post on our groups when I'm going to do it. And otherwise, the recording's always on the website. Thanks, everyone.
Good. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Thanks, all. Thanks, Anne.